We're not in the business of creating revenue.
Okay. That's the most outrageous statement.
On this week's GTA 6 o'clock, GTA 6 marketing to commence this summer.
It sounds like Rockstar are going to go big, loud, and creative with the marketing.
Physical and digital releases on day one. How much is the game going to cost? And GTA Online to continue. But what's next?
He wants to not lie, but can't tell the truth.
It's all here on this week's GTA 6 o'clock. Hello and welcome to episode 110 of GTA 6 o'clock, the world's most in-depth and best connected GTA 6 show. And it is happening, everybody. The recent Take-Two investor call has all but cemented, in my eyes, the November 16th release date. So book that time off because it is just 281 days as you listen to this show that it's pretty likely you will be playing GTA 6. I am your host, James JJ Jarvis, and here to analyse and discuss all of the details from the world of GTA and Rockstar Games is Dan DD Dawkins.
Hello all, it's happening. 90% likely to be happening. Big week, big discussion ahead.
It's definitely happening, and yes, a big week, Dan. Big, exciting week. Perhaps an excitement level that we weren't quite expecting. But I welcome it. I welcome the excitement levels. Of course, we are talking about the Take-Two earnings call that had a surprisingly straightforward statement that marketing will begin this summer.
I think the entire... First of all, an apology to everyone for last week. We recorded the show.
Dan is very sorry. Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm very penitent. We recorded the show. We thought it would be a no news is good news earnings call. And in many ways it was, but Strauss-Zelnick said out loud the things we wanted to hear, which we're going to get into right now, which weirdly turned it into a very exciting earnings call.
Some news was good news.
Yeah, some news was good news. But the news was, the sum total of it was things we probably already knew, but having them said out loud gives them a validity and a confidence that I think suddenly makes us pretty jazzed for GTA 6 this year.
This year, 2026 is going to be the year of GTA 6, hopefully. Obviously, things can change down the line. But right now, I feel like that date is pretty locked in now, as we'll get onto in the rest of this episode. So yes, the big topic, marketing will begin this summer. The exact phrasing from Strauss-Zelnick was, we're highly confident as we approach fiscal 2027, which promises to be groundbreaking for Take-Two Interactive Software, Inc., and the entire entertainment industry, led by the November 19th release of Grand Theft Auto 6 and Rockstar's launch marketing set to begin this summer. There's quite a few other things that Strauss has said in and around this investor call, which we can take a look at because they all point towards a similar thing to do with, the marketing and the release date. He told CNBC's Jim Cramer that we don't spend money on marketing until we're pretty close to release. He was asked, how do you know GTA 6 will be ready for November 19th? To which Strauss replied, well, we track progress daily of everything we do. It felt almost like, if you watch that interview back, he's like, I think he already knew why that question was being asked, but it was such a weird way of phrasing it. He was like, how do you know it'll be ready? And Strauss was just like, well, obviously we know because we're tracking all the things. We don't just plucked the date out of thin air.
Yeah.
I think he knew that question had to be asked, but perhaps wasn't really expecting it phrased in the same way. And then on marketing spend, he stressed the difference between awareness, of which clearly there is quite a lot around GTA 6, and then energy. Strauss-Zelnick also made the point that the marketing needs to reflect this unique art form, and they were not just selling hamburgers. Now, this is where I'm going to come to you, Dan, for your analysis on what does "we're not just selling hamburgers" actually mean, because obviously they're not selling hamburgers.
No, I mean, obviously GTA 6 is not a hamburger. And what I guess what he means is it's the complete opposite. Where if you talk about a lot of advertising is high awareness, deal based, consume this unit of this disposable product today. This is the antithesis of that. This is a once in a decade epochal event. And Strauss-Zelnick did not shy away during the earnings call or in the interviews from it being referred to as, I think, like the most important entertainment release ever. He's not shying away from that. So the marketing has to reflect that. And I think that's what he really got into when he was talking about it. The biggest thing I think initially was even saying the marketing's going to start was a thing he didn't have to do, but he did. And there's more on that later on in another interview he did. And yeah, like we say, talking about the marketing, it's not about, sure, they don't need to do any marketing. We've said that on this show, right? We've said, you don't need to. That game could launch tomorrow and do just fine. It's interesting to hear that word, not awareness, but energy, because energy is about making it feel even more epochal, event-worthy, defining than it is. We know that, but it's about telling the entire world that. So it's about you talk to your family, your friends, they're going to go, oh, what's that Grand Theft Auto game like? That looks good. Mm-hmm. That's what they're going to do. And we'll talk about this more as we go through some of the interviews he did, but it sounds like Rockstar are going to go big, loud, and creative with the marketing.
He also seems to have very much enjoyed his food analogies in many of the interviews that he did. He was also asked if GTA 6 even needs much marketing, as you just said. And his response was, I think the opposite is true. We're not going to sit back and relax. We are in the business of eating red meat for breakfast. We'll be having a lot more red meat in the coming months. We are very fortunate that the consumer anticipation for GTA 6 is huge, and one does have to be judicious about how one markets such an extraordinary product. Rest assured, I think you'll be pretty astonished by the creativity that Rockstar's marketing team brings to consumers in the coming months. So there you go, some more meat-based facts.
GTA not for vegetarians. It's clearly one of the most macho depictions of marketing. It's like, oh, red meat. I mean, red meat's got a connotation. I think it's just saying in terms of the energy, the excitement, this is big.
And then finally, he was talking to the game business, asking about the confirmation that GTA 6's marketing blitz was just a few months away. And Strauss said, you know me pretty well. For me to even say that we've got marketing beats coming this summer is a huge departure from what I usually say, which is that our labels will be making marketing announcements. All of this comes together and gives us the opportunity to analyze what this actually means. And I think there's a lot of things that we can dive into here. Now, about 5 weeks ago on this very show, we put out some predictions before this information about when we might see more GTA 6 content. And I think now that timeline feels pretty solid to me. I'll go back over it now. Like GTA 6 trailer 3, May. We think the summer basically means May. It's 6 months away from the November launch. Strauss has repeatedly said before, we're doing a shorter marketing campaign. We think 6 months is about right. May would kick that off. Now, previously when we went through this, I said June. That's a bit crazy. I think now May, for many reasons that we'll get onto, is more appropriate. And then we would go... So that trailer would be, I think, more in-game visuals, but not gameplay. So you're not seeing a HUD. You're not seeing anything that you could say that's definitely gameplay. So it's a little bit like trailer 2. I think a few more bits where you could conceivably go, that's clearly the game. But I think it'll be like, in-game capture, just like that one was. And then the gameplay trailer in September, a GTA Online trailer in October, and then a release November 19th. Obviously, there's going to be things peppered in the middle of that. New updates, pre-order announcements, screenshots, that kind of stuff. But I think for the core beats, that feels pretty good to me. I don't know if you've got a different view on any of those things. Obviously, we're speculating. It's hard to say. But, I'd like to see something in May.
I think we should talk about the other thing that was possibly significant for May. Then maybe I'll revisit what I think about. And the reality is, I don't know. Right, I don't know. And we can look at historical precedent. Maybe there's some clues there, and possibly there's some clues in the next thing we're going to talk about. But like right now, that sounds pretty robust to me as a lineup.
Yeah, and I think the thing that we're referencing is during that call, Strauss was asked by Jason Bazinet from Citi, when you first talked about GTA 6 coming out on a historical earnings call, you noted that you expected your non-GAAP earnings to grow the year after, not just on the year of release. I wonder if that is still true. This question wasn't answered by Strauss. It was answered by Take-Two's chief financial officer, Lainey Goldstein, who said, so we haven't really been talking about detailed guidance beyond fiscal year 2026. And now in our May earnings call, we'll give guidance for fiscal year 2027. That call is set conveniently for around about May 13th.
Yes. Now, I wrote about this on the newsletter, and this is highly speculative. There's a world where you look at this and say, why are they going to be in a better position to talk about a detailed guidance for the financial year ahead?
This is the world I want to be in.
Yeah,
that world.
in May. Right? Why are they in a better position? Well, they've been in a better position because, well, it's literally that financial year. Where at the moment, the earnings call we've just had is for the financial year that's ongoing until March the 31st, 2026, the 2026 financial year. So that'll be wrapped and done. So there is that side of it that's logical. The next earnings call will be the first earnings call of the new financial year. That makes sense. But like, what will they know then that they don't know now? Now, it's either that, this is my speculation here, right? Either they know something from data, I'll get to that now, or they're in a better position to talk about certain things and how they affect monetization. Because, for example, what's going to be the biggest driver of recurrent GTA 6 revenues after the game has come out?
GTA Online.
Yeah,
GTA
Online.
Yeah.
Now, they haven't talked about GTA 6 Online in any form. So it might, and this might not be the timeline, right? But I'm just saying that if something had gone out or been said about GTA 6 Online before the next earnings call, they would be in a better position to add the color and detail to that conversation. They could still put the revenue forward and not explain it. It's just easier to explain if you said it's because of GTA 6 Online and its new feature, or because of this. That may not happen, and it slightly contradicts what we said for a GTA Online trailer and that kind of thing. Or it could be, and maybe we should talk about this in more detail, could it be that they have some pre-order data by then? Now, it feels a bit early to me, if I'm completely honest. To go in May would be not the earliest they've ever been, but the earliest they've ever been knowing the release date wasn't going to slip. Because with GTA 5, and we'll talk about this again in detail later, GTA 5, there was almost a 10-month gap between pre-order and launch, but that was because they ended up delaying the game a few months into that. So I don't think they would have started pre-orders had they known. But they can do what they want. So, if you knew, had some indication, instead of just looking at YouTube views and social sentiment as a proxy for how many copies we're going to sell, what if they literally knew we've got already X pre-orders? We know this is, say, 10, 20, 30, whatever % up on GTA 5. Hence, we predict X revenue. And it becomes a much more credible prediction for the markets. So I think there's a possibility, like you were saying, that something more concrete may come out about GTA 6 before the earnings call, because it would give them an enhanced capacity to talk about the financials. Now, they could say, talk about it and just not fill in the detail. As in, they know what's happening. They just haven't told us yet.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like, trust us, Jack. It's going to be like this. It's 30% up, 40% up, whatever, right? But that's why I think the May date is significant and may be significant for the start of the marketing timeline.
And they've had, 3 more months to develop the game. They'll be in a lot more confident position about if they're hitting that November 19th date or not. It feels like, as we've said, that is what they're aiming for and what everything is now pointed out, especially when they're dropping. This is when we're starting our marketing beats. But something might happen in the next 3 months. Hopefully not. But it does give them that buffer then to go, we're 3 months closer to release. It's all going well. It's still definitely coming out November 19th. And as you say, releasing a trailer just before that call, reconfirming publicly, like I know the investor call is public, but it's not public for, everyone in the gaming sphere. So doing it with a trailer and going November 19th and potentially opening pre-orders with that trailer feels like it could be something that happens. And if it's not a trailer, maybe it's some screenshots. At the worst case, it's an announcement for an announcement, like when they go, November, May 7th, investor call's coming up. Stay tuned. In 2 weeks' time, we've got a new trailer coming out, or we're announcing pre-orders in 2 weeks. Like something like that would build confidence. I am hopeful it's going to happen. I'm going to say that out loud.
Yeah, I feel more confident of like assets and date confirmation than I do pre-orders, but it's not impossible. I was looking off here at the Red Dead Redemption 2 phasing. So like with Red Dead Redemption 2, and this is after they've been through the rounds of delays.
Yeah.
So I think it was May 2nd, 2019, they dropped trailer 3. 1 month later, on June the 4th, they started pre-orders, including the special and ultimate editions. Then the game ultimately came out on October the 26th. So you've got a gap of 4 months and 22 days between pre-orders and launch. Now, we're not entirely on different phasing. We're talking about, I do think like June feels a bit more like a gap they've had before, but May isn't a crazy time to launch pre-orders. And if you look back to GTA 5, as I just hinted about, well, they actually announced pre-orders in November the 5th, 2012, but that was when we thought the game was coming out spring 2013, which could have been anywhere from March to the end of May, right? So we don't really know, but maybe 6 months. And then the game got delayed on Jan 31st, 2013. Then as it happened, the game didn't come out till September. So there was almost like a 10-month gap between pre-order, and it all worked out just fine.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't write off a pre-order beat to go with the trailer 3, given the game's been sort of quiet for so long. It's been a bit of a loss of momentum. Back to that word energy. What better way to build energy then? Bam, trailer 3, pre-order now, November 19th. It's happening into financials. We're going to make a waz load of money. We're going to eat a lot of red meat. That's exciting.
Get the platters out.
Yeah, everything there is like energy. Bam, bam, bam. You do it. And then they've got one more earnings call then really until GTA comes out. And that's the, it's go time. Everything. We're locked in. So, I'm not definitively saying, but that feels like, again, it's got a synergy to it. But how else do you think, how else could marketing expand through the summer, given the wider context of like world events and opportunities?
Well, yeah, there's a lot going on. And if we're focusing on Strauss's statement that I think you'll be pretty astonished by the creativity that Rockstar's marketing team brings to consumers, like what does that mean? We've obviously seen big launches from them before, but to state that it's going to be an astonishing amount of creativity, where can they put things? Now, there's a few big events coming up. There is a Super Mario Galaxy movie that comes in April. For me, that's too early to do anything. Obviously, I expect them to put a GTA trailer in the cinemas at some point. It might be that we've already seen a longer version of that trailer and it's just like a 30-second spot that runs before an upcoming film, but I would be very surprised if they don't put a GTA trailer in front of a big blockbuster film.
I agree with that. And it doesn't need to be, like you say, like a new asset necessarily. It's more like a Redux cinema cut. There was a very famous TV spot for GTA Vice City back in the day that was one of their most exciting trailers, but it wasn't like a key reveal beat. It was just a really cool trailer.
Yeah. So beyond that, we've got the Miami F1 Grand Prix, which is on May the 3rd, which is quite a lovely date. Apart from the Sunday, that's not ideal. But if you are hosting a huge sporting event in the city that your game is based in, around the time that you might want to kick off marketing, that opportunity to me feels too good to miss. But I think that's entirely a possibility. Or they could do something like on the track. At all the corners, there's loads of opportunities to just put branding and sponsorship on them. There could just be a massive GTA 6 artwork on one of the corners that just says November 17th. And it's just a place to just re-push that date.
Yeah, I don't want to embarrass myself. I'm not a major F1 watcher. I'm not intimately familiar with every track and the opportunities they present. Like, were this, say, a Monaco or some kind of race that's very much in an urban setting, like the obvious play would be to do what Rockstar have done many times, like, you know, painting skyscrapers with characters, logos, blurring the lines between reality and game. Mm-hmm. Miami's track, as far as I can tell from what I'm seeing in the pictures, is a bit more modern and bespoke. What it has got is like a huge, if you look at it top down, it almost looks like a GTA map. It's got like a huge areas of like water.
Yeah, they've built a fake marina.
But it's not really water, it's fake marina. Yeah. Now that feels like a brilliant opportunity for branding, or even, you know, to look at it like a top down and to brand it GTA would be really fun because it does look like water. So that could be really cool. And I don't think they'll do more than some kind of physical blend, but it's just setting the scene for the location of GTA. They don't have to reveal anything new. It just feels like a really good tie-up to blast that game into the mainstream mindset and go, it's coming, bang.
Yeah, and all the people who are watching that event in that city to go, you know, there's a huge game coming out that's set in this city that you are now watching this thing in. Like it ticks a lot of boxes for me.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think they need to do something so big that the commentators are forced to explain it. That, you know, even if they if you look at the track top down, there's like a fake, like you say, water, sea, and it says Miami. Like, what if that was replaced and said Leonida? And then the commentators had to go, as everyone might have noticed, it's not called Miami, it's called Leonida. That's for the new game Grand Theft Auto. That would be a cool thing that would almost force commentators to join in. I don't know if that's for sale. I don't know if that's even possible. It's probably really expensive.
Anything's for sale.
Well, yeah, for the right money. For red meat money, maybe it is, right? But like that would be a really cool thing. That's creative. It's fun. That feels like the right thing. You know, were it another setting, I would say it's city-based and it's skyscrapers.
Yeah. Also, one of the first times, if that did happen, that we'd actually hear Leonida said out loud, and we'd actually know in Rockstar's view how you pronounce that state.
Well, yes.
And leave that to the F1 commentary team to work out how they're going to say it.
Well, I guess they'd write it, and then unless they give notes to the commentators to go, it's pronounced
they'd have to
Leonida. Yeah.
There's also in that marina bit now a like super yacht that they've put in there to make it feel like more of a marina. And that super yacht now you can like pay lots of money to go and stand on different areas of the deck, even if, as a subtle piece of marketing, they put Jason and Lucia lookalikes on that yacht and engineer it in a way to go, we just need a camera shot of these people and then just cut away. And you'd be like, what's happening? Like someone would pick that up and that would be a very good bit of viral marketing.
If they really wanted to go there, they'd put Michael's boat there. That would be like but it's so meta. But the people who got it would go nuts for it, right? They'd go nuts. I don't think they'll do that, but please do that.
Yes, do that. So yeah, lots of opportunities there. The date looks pretty good. Also in May, there's the French Open. And then at the end of May, it's the UEFA Champions League final taking place in Budapest in Hungary. Possibly an opportunity for like a TV-based ad if they wanted to go down that route. And then on the cinema side, Toy Story 5 set to release in June. Also in June is when the FIFA World Cup kicks off, which ends on July 19th. Good possible synergy there to build something in to either the final or some other opportunities. Wimbledon, UK-based, also takes place between June and July. And then back on the cinema train, in July, you also have The Odyssey coming out, which is supposedly going to be like an incredible piece of cinema. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. And Spider-Man Brand New Day comes out in July, potentially as well. So there's a couple of opportunities there in July to do those cinema-style TV spots that we talked about around some. I'd say out of the two, Spider-Man is a bit more of an audience crossover with the GTA fan base, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe everyone loves the Odyssey and has read it loads of times.
It's going to be more. I mean, the books are not. It is one of the all-time greats, but it's challenging for a modern audience. I dare proffer. So I think Spider-Man feels a bit more easy and safe. As we were speaking, I was thinking about the World Cup as the World Cup. You know, will be the most watched sports event in the world, right? It's the world's game, etc., etc. Miami's first game is on June the 15th. I was thinking, is that a good time to go loud and announce pre-orders? Date, maybe, but actually the game, I don't want to throw shade on anyone. The game's Uruguay and Saudi Arabia, which isn't maybe the biggest game there's going to be. And then if you run through the fixtures, you've got Uruguay, Saudi Arabia on the 15th, Uruguay versus Cape Verde. No.
We're not hitting the triple A's yet.
No, June 24th. Now, this is potentially a good one. Brazil versus Scotland. Scotland, Rockstar North. Brazil, world's biggest football team. And that, I'm just having fun with this. But that there's some dates where you might go as a marketing person. This makes a bit more sense than the others. But Miami, the best match it gets the quarterfinals of the World Cup and the third place playoff. The third place playoff is, I hate to say it, one of the biggest dead rubbers in all of sport. So I don't think they can associate themselves with that. And the quarterfinals, it's not the final, right? No. So there might be something at the final. It's just a shame it won't be
a Miami-based thing. Yeah. And I mean, there's a way to even, like they're going really big, brand that Miami stadium as some kind of, the in-game equivalent of what that is and put different banners up. There's loads of things that they could do for that kind of stuff. Potentially quite exciting things. So, I mean, all of this boils down to keep your eyes peeled on what could be major sporting events, especially ones that are set in Miami. So let's move on to some other things that were covered during the earnings call. And this one is an exciting one as well. Contrary to rumors that were circling around a few weeks ago, it looks like GTA 6 will get a physical and a digital release on day one. This comes via Variety, and they state that Zelnick also addressed online rumors that have spread about the possibility of Rockstar delaying the release of physical copies of GTA 6 until 2027 in order to avoid leaks of the game, which will debut November 19th. And Strauss Zelnick says, that is not the plan. Is his actual quote from that. Yeah, what I find, I will say with this, people have very definitively leapt on the fact that this means physical day one confirmed. It might be. What I would say is that when you look at in the earnings call, this wasn't addressed. He didn't go out of his way to put it forward, nor did anyone explicitly ask. The only comment about it anywhere was in the Variety interview. But, maybe you can call me out live on air. I couldn't find a really in-depth Variety interview. There's a Variety article that reads almost like one of those articles that takes that one nugget and says, read the full interview here. Except that there was no read the full interview here. Right. There was a throwaway line where it said, in regards, to the physical release, that's not the plan, he told us. So it was a really throwaway line, and obviously all the world's media seized on it, and then it became the headline, and spun ever so slightly to be more affirmative. So GTA 6 will get a physical release, says Rockstar CEO. Didn't actually say that. In my life, I've often had a plan. It just hasn't always worked out that way. You're suggesting that plans may change. Well, I'm just saying that's not the plan, but it's not him saying it will. There's a subtlety here. It will launch on day one with disc. If he said that, he's not saying that. He's saying that's not the plan. Yeah. Or he's not saying we are going to do that. Yeah. He's just saying, I guess the inference is that we intend to launch it on disc, but he's not denying it. To me, it's not as equivocal as the way it was reported, right? So I've also, I wrote this in a newsletter last year. I think they'd be sort of, from a financial point of view, they have to go physical. There's all the benefits, the money benefits of physical, the marketing presence, talking about energy, got stands in store, blah, 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 blah. Physical, yeah, sure. But I do still think there's that
they're balancing up risk of leak versus release. Maybe that's just not a decision they've committed to yet.
Yeah,
That's just the way I look at it. Now, I don't want to be like the dampener on this, because I think it is saying, yes, there's an intent to do a physical one, but it's not as equivocal for me as it maybe has been made to sound.
And I think there were some comments last week on the show when we were talking about this as well, about ways around that. Like you do release the physical disc, but you don't put everything you need on it. So you have to download something on day one to make that game run. I think all of that makes a lot of sense and something that it will definitely do. What it doesn't stop people doing is pulling apart the data on that disk and then effectively reverse engineering it. So like, even if a lot of the game is on it, you might end up hearing about mission titles, like a load of materials and the kind of stuff that is baked into the disk, but you can't actually play the game, but you can get into the back end data. And, you know, people these days are quite adept at being able to rip that stuff apart and then pulling out little snippets and stuff. So I think you would get leaks even if the game wasn't fully playable until you downloaded a patch.
It's risk, definitely.
But let's see. And if that is the case, how much is the game going to cost? And now this is something that they were asked by another person on the investor call, and their response was mixed. It was Strauss again saying, on the affordability question, you know, we do feel a compact with the consumer. We've talked about for a very long time to deliver way more value than we charge. And, you know, we're in the business of entertaining people. We're not in the business of creating revenue. Okay.
That's the most outrageous statement. We're not in the business of creating revenue. Sure.
Well, he continued, Dan, so don't worry. Revenue comes from entertaining. And the interactive entertainment on a real basis is getting more and more affordable all the time because we offer extraordinary value for money. Now, you did look into this a little bit in the newsletter, and there's some good and bad in here.
Yeah, well, this is a glass half full statement, right? Now, if you're looking for good words, you would say a compact with the consumer, which I think is shorthand for we feel an affinity for the everyday man or woman. We know how hard it is out there. My heart bleeds. We're not about making money.
We're in the entertainment business.
And then he says, and this could be construed as good. We like to offer more value than what we charge. Could be seen as a good word, right? I would also proffer that's a bad word. More value than what we charge. The important point to make is that value and cost are different concepts. Cost is like an absolute. Value is in the eye of the beholder. And then you could argue, and I did this in the newsletter, that GTA 6 is value at $80, which is what we might expect to play for a AAA game. It might be value at $100. It might be value at $200. I'm not saying it's going to cost $200, but I'm saying if you're talking about value, for some people, that could be seen as value.
Yeah, like, are you playing this game for 10 years? Yes. You only have to buy it once. So it's a little bit more expensive than it would be if you were playing a game that, you know, only lasts for 12 hours. And obviously there's replayability in those single player games, etc., etc. But the way that they're talking about value is you only buy this product once, unless you buy shark cards and carry on playing GTA Online. And that could be priced at a point that is still a good piece of, you know, value for money as they would perceive it.
It's one of those pieces of communication that you walk away feeling good about and then wonder why you're slowly bleeding out or something, where it just feels the use of value is a trick word. And I think it leaves the door open for an increased cost, and he hasn't gone back in anything. He's not using the word cost, he's using the word value. So unfortunately, initially I read it and felt quite warm about it, but the more I looked at it, I actually felt like, lots of use of value.
Yeah.
And that for me is leaving the door open to a price increase. I don't know what you think. Like, I don't know where you think they're going to land, but it just had the slight tinge to me, that sentiment.
I mean, even $85 makes a huge difference to them. Like millions of pounds difference based on the number of units they're going to shift. So it would not surprise me if it was just slightly more than everything else is, and because that's a great benefit to them, it still keeps you in the value stage of, oh, it's only like £5 more. What's that? It's like, a coffee and a donut. Well, okay, fine. I just won't buy a coffee and a donut this week, and I'll put those savings towards GTA 6. I can see it being a touch more, but not too outrageously more that it generates headlines.
Yeah.
But like enough to go, that has made a big difference to us, actually.
Like, how significant is it? They confirmed on the earnings call the GTA 5 has passed 225 million copies sold. So an extra $5 on each 225 million copies, it's over $1 billion.
Over its lifetime, I guess.
Over its lifetime, sure.
Yeah.
Over its lifetime. I would accept $1 billion extra dollars over my lifetime.
Over the 30 years.
Yeah, I'll wait. I mean, I may not be alive, but I'll wait, right? Like it's just a staggering amount of money, given the amount of units that will be sold. So I think even extra dollar is juicing it for them. And I was reading something about indie game pricing, which is obviously way different concept of value. But like indie devs arguing about the difference between, what games feel like. So you can charge $10 is $10, $9 is $10. But $13, it's not quite 15. Actually, it feels like better value. It's the psychology of pricing. And there's something in it. So I think there might be a way they can go to like $84.99. People go, "Urgh."
It's basically £80, isn't it?
I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed, but.
Yeah.
And there was also, we didn't cite it there, there was a lot of talk in his reply about inflation-based language. It's very financial, but like real terms. And it's like, that's the language of inflation. What he was saying was really, we haven't increased the price of video games relative to inflation and the rest of the economy. That, again, is a flag to me. That's a danger. So I don't entirely feel positive about what he said in terms of the game being $80.
Yeah. And to bring it all back round, that is exactly why your McDonald's Saver menus are at 99p and not £1. Because it feels much cheaper to just spend 99p. It's fine. But £1, not sure about that.
99
Hamburgers.
It's free.
So then, the game is coming out on November 19th. We all know that now. As predicted, GTA Online in its current form is set to continue after the release of GTA 6. This was also asked during the last week. An analyst asked, will GTA Online continue to be the current iteration once GTA 6 comes out? And Strauss said, look, Rockstar Games is the locus of information about, where the titles go, content and marketing. Generally, we have a pretty light touch when we talk about the label's creative activities. Translate that statement for us, Dan.
I'll translate a number of things there. The first is, I think it caught him slightly off balance because you can see him mentally recalibrating his answer on the fly. He uses the word twice in 2 sentences. It's a stalling technique because he's not quite sure how to frame this. He knows we know there's going to be a GTA 6 online or some sort of revamp of GTA Online. He just can't say it.
Yeah.
So he wants to not lie, but can't tell the truth. So he fudges it, and then he goes, and I love the way he phrases it. And even the way he starts it, look, it's a stall world, gives him half a second to think more. Look, Rockstar Games is the locus of information. So it's basically saying, when there's news, your boy Rockstar's got it. And it's essentially, I look at that as basically saying, I'm confirming it. It's going to be, so like he's saying, basically, there will be GTA 6 online, and that's going to be a big thing, but I can't say that. So in so many words, for me, that's how he's trying to say that.
Which is what we believe to be the case anyway. Like, we know the current version of GTA Online is going to continue, and there will be a new iteration of it alongside GTA 6 at some point. Not necessarily on day one, but at some point, GTA 6 will have an online component that is different to the current GTA Online edition.
Yeah, and he was very clear in the call to, whether this implies the right word, GTA Online is going nowhere. It's making so much money.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what he says in the call. I haven't got the phrasing to hand, but he essentially was very clear that GTA Online is going nowhere. But this answer is a companion piece that essentially says, and it will be joined by the next iteration of GTA Online, GTA 6 Online, whatever it's called.
Which goes hand in hand with their talk about GTA Plus. Now, Strauss said GTA Plus continues to thrive with membership levels nearly doubling over the same period last year. And we're excited about its potential to add even more value to the player experience in the future. And you pointed out here that in the future is the key bit, as well as, of course, giving even more value to the player experience. That's important.
Yeah, well, again, the word value, ding, ding, that's a danger word. In the future just suggests, yeah, it will be more valuable for reasons we can't expand on. And my speculation would be, is it going to, is the value side of it going to mean there's a higher tier where you get access to GTA Online and GTA 6 Online, where you get a better form of, tiered pricing, basically, and or linked to playing the shiniest, newest thing. And that won't be cheap. So it just felt to me like they're hinting to analysts and investors, GTA Plus is going to be a significant revenue generator in a way that we can't elucidate. See you on May the 13th for the next earnings call.
Yeah. That is implies it's already going well. Like doubling the GTA Plus membership compared to this time last year is a significant increase for them. And I agree. I think some kind of tiered structure or extra incentive to spend more money in GTA Plus makes sense. We should remember it's not just about GTA Online either. Like you do get your 500,000 GTA dollars a month, 15% bonus on shark cards, exclusive clothing, bonus vehicles, liveries, paint jobs, that kind of stuff. But you also get access to a selection of Rockstar's library. So at the moment you get Red Dead #1, GTA Online, Bully, GTA the Trilogy, LA Noire, Liberty City Stories, and Chinatown Wars. I can see, like you have mentioned, a membership package here where you get GTA 6 as part of that, as like sign up to GTA Online, GTA Plus membership today for day one access to GTA 6 on launch day, plus all of these other benefits that are already in the package for this price. And it won't be, this is the balance, right? I don't think it would be the full price of the game, because currently GTA Plus is priced in a way that is less than buying all of those games because it's a monthly subscription.
Yeah, it's recurring.
Then I guess the situation was that is you could get GTA 6 for, I'm not sure how much GTA Plus is, let's say £20 for that first month, and then just cancel your subscription. Obviously you lose access to the game, but you are in a way managing to buy that game for £20, $20 for a month and then going, I'm done with it. Now, I don't think many people will be done with it after a month, but it does then open up that door for a lower access price to it, which maybe is something they don't want.
Yeah, and I guess it comes down to financial modeling. Someone somewhere will have a matrices of spreadsheets based on different levels of adoption and the opportunity cost of doing it that way. But I think there's, like you say, if someone was offered the chance of, it's $20 a month, including GTA 6, or you can buy GTA 6 now for $80. So, over the 12 months, it's making way more money if you commit for 12 months. And maybe that's it. Maybe they say it's 12-month locking or something.
It's currently $6.99 a month for GTA Plus. Yeah, and I could see, and a lot of other subscription services do this. You're locked in for 12 months. Like there's no way out of it. It's $6.99 a month over the next 12 months. You do get access to the game. Therefore, you're effectively just putting a down payment on the game. Like you will eventually pay for the game. You're
really paying, if say it was $10, you'd be paying $120 for the game over the year. But psychologically, it feels better because it's only costing you $10 a month, not an $80 immediate hit. It's just it's the psychology of intertemporal preferences to
and you get access to all that other free stuff.
Yeah, which you'll never use. But it's about value stacking. And so I think it makes you feel better.
It's a good amount of value in that package.
That word again.
I'd be very much down with that kind of subscription-based model, £10 a month forever. And I'm sure Take-Two and Rockstar would also love me paying £10 a month forever, getting to the end of the 12-month period, forgetting to cancel it for another month or 4 or 10. And then, it's another £100 I might not have given them that I am then giving them because I'm signed up to the service. I'm like, I can't, I might as well just keep it.
And that's how it works, because you forget you've even subscribed, and you look at it sometimes and go, yeah, I might use it, $10, whatever. But it just bleeds you out month on month. That's what you want. But then when you look and go, I'm signed up to 4 different subscription services, GTA Plus. Actually, I'm putting out $50 a month, $600 a year. Wow. This is a lot of money.
Yeah, which one of these don't I want?
Yeah,
which is the least valuable to me.
You need a little trim back moment. So everyone loves subscription. They love recurring revenues. So,
and it's definitely where the industry feels like it's going anyway. Like subscription-based models. We've talked about it a long time about, could Rockstar launch their own app / subscription-based service where it is this kind of thing? You get access to their library. You pay them a Netflix-style subscription. This would be the first move towards that, especially tying it up with a game that they know everybody wants. Try and lock as many people in as possible. It makes a lot of sense. So I guess we will see in May if there's any hints towards this progressing any further. We will summarize all of this and more in this week's newsletter, which will come out on Friday. You can sign up to that by going to gamesradar.com/newsletter. Click on the GTA 6 button and sign up. You can also get in touch with us directly on Twitter at GTAVOclock and via email gtaviclock@gmail.com. Please let us know about your thoughts about any of these topics in the not in the description, in the comments below.
Yeah.
Not in the description. We write that bit. In the comments below. We do read them all. Thank you for your continued support. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or any of those other audio services, please pop over to YouTube and say hello. It's great to meet all of you. We will go and read all of your comments over the next few days, and then we'll be back next week for another episode of GTA 6 o'clock.